Some of the faculty that I talked to called it Clark Gilbert's black box. It says, the form says you have to support church doctrine. You can't oppose church doctrine. Some of these things are not doctrine, and some of these things are open to interpretation, and it's frankly not clear what people did wrong. I'm writing about Brigham Young University and its efforts to have faculty all follow a particular set of behavioral standards that even go beyond the church's own standards.
I'm Elder Clark Gilbert, and I currently...
Most of these changes have tracked to the administration of Clark Gilbert, who is a General Authority 70 and the Commissioner of Education. He's a very powerful person. And it's a form that goes beyond the temple recommend. All faculty already had to have a temple recommend. This is an additional form, and it includes a promise to support the church's stance on marriage, family, and gender. These standards go well beyond what is expected of members to get a temple recommend, allowing them into the faith's temples. In the LDS Church, the most sacred places are temples. You go to your local ecclesiastical leaders, your local bishop, and answer a set of questions. Only members who have signed off on a certain set of behavioral and belief standards have access to the temples. Those are pretty strong requirements. So for the school or Clark Gilbert to require additional standards, it seems very extreme. For example, it extends to opposition to same-sex marriage, which the church itself says it's okay for members to believe in same-sex marriage and still be in good standing. But staff and faculty at BYU cannot.
It is their opportunity to choose, not ours to compel.
Clark Gilbert, who became Commissioner of Education, spent a year interviewing faculty and then came up with some categories of faculty that he had noticed. The highest being absolutely the most orthodox in bringing, quote, spirituality into the classroom, down to the lowest category, which he called the open foes, who apparently he believes have written or spoken out against church policies, and he would like to see those folks leave. It was troubling to faculty, many faculty, because the church itself doesn't demand that members oppose same-sex marriage. So this seemed like an additional requirement for faculty, and it just seemed like an unnecessary intrusion into their personal beliefs. So for a university, which the whole purpose is to explore the whole universe of ideas, to be shutting down an avenue of deep concern and social justice at this moment seems harsh, and it goes way beyond what members are expected to believe or do. One of the things that gets people in trouble is speaking critically about the school or about any of these policies or about Clark Gilbert. That retribution, those are not empty fears, that is real. The feeling of secrecy and lack of transparency is also contributing to low morale and to fear. You don't know, what did you do to cause this to happen? Some of the faculty that I talked to called it Clark Gilbert's black box. The form says you have to support church doctrine. You can't oppose church doctrine. Some of these things are not doctrine, and some of these things are open to interpretation, and it's frankly not clear what people did wrong. Some of the people who didn't get hired, who went up the ladder, they were interviewed, they were put forward by their department, went to a general authority interview, which is required of all new hires, and then still didn't get hired. And some of those people desperately want to know what they did wrong because they still want to be hired there. Several of the people I spoke with speculate that it's harder for women to get through the process than women candidates. People I spoke with worry that this is leading the school to become more rigid, that some of the best and the brightest LDS faculty will not be applying to teach there. Many very good faculty could leave, either forced out or just choosing to leave, which would be a tragedy for the school that's tried to be excellent and wants to be seen as excellent. But if its best and brightest faculty choose not to go there, it will definitely limit its accomplishments. Even since Clark Gilbert has been in place, the standing in U.S. News and World Report declined, kind of dramatically.